Hello, hello. This is the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap. This is Rajyasree Sen.
And this is Abhinandan Sekhri, and we have one more guest joining us from your home state, Rajyasree.
Yes, from my hometown, in fact, we have Sandeep Roy, who is a columnist. He has his own podcast. He's a radio host. He was also my editor for the longest time at First Post. And what else has... And he has written a book, which everyone should buy, called Don't Let Him Know.
Don't Let Him Know by Sandeep Roy. And what's the podcast called?
Sandeep, what is your podcast called?
I knew you'd be put on the spot there. It's very simply called the Sandeep Roy Show.
That even I know that.
Even you know that, huh?
That much even see, you come ill-prepared for all podcasts, including when your friend, your former editor and all is also joining us.
Now, I wish you had mentioned that. I suddenly had like PTSD from the editing days, which I had long put behind me. But then you had your revenge. You edited me later as well, so...
Yes, and yes, I did edit you later, but Sandeep used to have to, the main job while editing me was, because I write so beautifully and we know I'm very witty and all.
Don't start with
But
lies.
he had to find the one fact which was incorrect. So Sandeep had come back
So it was very rare for you to put an incorrect fact there.
No, it was like an Easter egg in every article.
Yeah, so...
there was like find the fact, and sometimes it would be very deceptive.
Said find the fact.
Find the fact.
So there was one fact
Actually,
that was in the
one fact that was in there.
Yeah.
That we had to
So
bring out.
Sandeep had come back from San Francisco, and then he'd you joined First Post right after coming back from San Fran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there was an article that I wrote where I wrote that the person's name, instead of being Aduna, what is she?
Aduna.
Aduna Akhtar. This one's wife. I wrote Aduna Contractor. Now this is not incorrect because they are both hairstylists. I just put their names together.
So how is it not incorrect?
Means in a way it is, but the thought
In a way it is incorrect.
But the thought was there. Why did I do it?
Okay, we'll move on because this conversations with Rajyasree quickly stop making sense.
But why has Sandeep been asked to be part of this, other than for the fact that he writes on social issues, culture, and gender.
And he's a pop culture aficionado.
Yeah, he's a pop culture aficionado, as Abhinandan has said. Sandeep is also here to give us, because Abhinandan is known for not being very gender sensitive.
Not gender sensitive, just a little uncle on issues of gender, etc.
Yeah, so we are hoping that Sandeep will be able to strike that balance and educate at least Abhinandan, because I'm very sensitive, as you know.
Agree with me, or maybe he ends by saying, actually, Abhinandan has
this might not be correct, but
or maybe I just say, my sore throat is really acting up right now.
So I should get going.
I should get going.
So what we'll discuss is House of Gucci, a film about fashion, because we in fashion often make films.
Because Abhinandan is a fashionista. If people don't know, we'll be sharing some pictures at the bottom of this podcast.
No, we won't. Then we have a film called 14 Peaks from Netflix. House of Gucci we saw in the cinema, by the way.
Yeah.
Then you have an ad, which is a Norwegian ad, a 3-minute long ad, celebrating 50 years of inclusiveness.
Now you gave away the punchline.
There's no punchline. It's a 3-minute ad without a punchline. Much has been written about it. And we have a trailer of a film called Chandigarh Kare Ashiki.
And a series. I watched 2 episodes of
We are not
hiccups
talking
and
about
hookups.
it. Don't just keep payloading stuff. We are here to talk to Sandeep, not these hiccups and hookups shit. Okay? So, now, many of you had written last time that we should get someone to speak about the Dave Chappelle show, which many of our listeners thought was homophobic and transphobic, and I did not agree. You didn't either.
Yeah.
And then Chandigarh Kare Ashiki, I didn't even consider that it's transphobic till someone said this is transphobic. I thought it was not. It was the opposite, but I don't know.
So I didn't realize, when we discussed the trailer, because when he said that we are going to discuss this, and Sandeep told me, which is why it's
You didn't understand the trailer.
I didn't understand why he said that it's about
he had a birds and bees problem with
I said, but it's looking like a normal, this thing, like a normal heterosexual relationship. Normal, I can't
Even
say this.
homosexuals are normal. There's
Yeah,
nothing
but I
not
didn't
normal.
realize it was like a social commentary they were
No,
doing
they weren't
through
doing
this
social
film.
commentary, but the most important social commentary is you must let everyone complete sentences on this show. So, let's start off. What do you want to start off with? Sandeep, have you watched House of Gucci by any chance?
No.
Okay, but you watched Kissing Santa?
Yes.
Oh, you have watched Kissing Santa.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So the 3 minutes. So first of all, let's start off from what many episodes, like 2 episodes we've spent discussing because we got so much feedback. What did you think of the Dave Chappelle show? That The Closer. Did you think it was transphobic?
Yeah, so did I think it was transphobic? Yes, but a lot of comedy is many things phobic. I mean, that is the idea in a lot of comedy. I mean, if comedy was not pushing the envelope on some issue or the other, it would progressively become more tame. And this is comedy abroad. Here in India, of course, you don't even have to push the envelope very much. You get thrown an FIR filed against you just because you might be thinking of a joke, which is a different matter altogether, right? But here, I don't think it was surprising what Dave Chappelle was saying. I think the problem with it was not so much whether it was phobic or not, but that there was the huge amount of this whole entitlement that was happening where somebody who has a lot of power then comes and says like, oh my God, I'm being cancelled because someone is calling out my show and saying, calling out my bias. And the same thing can be happening here. I can go and make a joke, which can be a really funny joke around caste, and then someone can call it out and say, this is casteist. And didn't that happen with, what was it? Randeep Hooda he made some joke about Mayawati. It wasn't a very funny joke at all.
About sleeping with,
something
like who'll sleep
about,
with her. It was
Randeep Hooda?
It wasn't. It was a comment he made.
He made
During an interview?
He must have had a few joints.
Okay, no, I missed this one completely, huh?
And so, there was a lot of things that was like, oh, was it being casteist or was it the fact that he did not consider Mayawati somebody he wanted to sleep with? There was just his comment on her looks and had nothing to do with the caste. So that caused a huge furor. But I think with the transphobia thing, I think this is something that most of us, even people who count themselves gay or lesbian, were not even thinking very much about this even 5-10 years ago. This has been kind of an education for, I remember, 10 years ago, I was at an LGBT conference and there was an activist who was giving a talk and she kept talking about cisgender and this, and my friend was like, what is this cis? And I, at that time, did not know how it was spelled. I said, because it's gay, no, it's like probably something from sissy. S-I-S.
So you channeled your inner Rajri
Yeah, this is why
and
we are
said,
friends.
let me make up an answer, even if I don't know.
Answer. But we knew better at that moment than to, sort of ask. I think that has become the bigger problem. And this is not necessarily about Dave Chappelle, is that we're very quick to jump on calling somebody whatever, transphobic, this phobic, as opposed to sometimes thinking they might generally be clueless about it. They just don't know any better. And so
that's a very good comment. A lot of times, that is not even considered, that this person may just not be aware of this space.
Like you. I feel sometimes you're not aware.
You saw that fuss about the Virat Kohli restaurant, the one, whatever it's called, 118
Yeah. He doesn't know about this.
So they had this whole thing where they said they didn't allow stag entry like many other places don't. So then people called it out for being homophobic, right? So it's very easy to call it homophobic when the fact is they probably were not even thinking about homosexuals, phobic or philic otherwise,
right?
When they had that. This was whole policy about, to make women feel safer, and they didn't want groups of guys in there. But okay, if you want change, you call them out and say, "Tell your policy, I understand why you're doing it, but as a collateral damage of your policy, well-behaved gay couples are being kept outside your restaurant. Is that your issue? Can we work it?" But instead, you quickly said, "Oh no, you're homophobic."
Yeah, but
then they get defensive, and then they say, "We are not homophobic." But we are creative. And so then the conversation goes nowhere.
Exactly. What happens, I think, the urgency to attack rather than to discuss is a post-social media phenomena.
Absolutely.
It is not.
You want the hashtag. Discussion does not get hashtags.
Let's attack. And that kind of breaks down communication, which the accusation may not be accurate.
And the instant thing, the social media thing that you're seeing, that before finding out all the facts, that instantaneous, that we'll immediately jump on the bandwagon and say that they must have been homophobic. Did you check why they have this policy? Did you call them up? Have you even read up? Half the people don't know where the restaurant is, what has happened, but they've already started tweeting, and then by that time they've been shut.
And then you have to kind of stick to your position because you've taken it on Twitter.
Both sides stick to their position. One side sounds very defensive, one side sounds aggressive, and in result, the gay couple still doesn't get to go to the
basically.
You still can't go to Virat Kohli's restaurant.
This happened to me. I tried to go on Halloween, and now I think like maybe that was the stag policy.
Yeah.
They said it was book solid, and they were like, maybe that was now. I don't know. I forgot to call them out at that time. So now they won't even apologize and give me a free meal or something like that. Nothing will happen. But this other thing I thought was that concern with Dave Chappelle is I think he actually raised a very important point, which is that a lot of these sort of affirmative action type policies that have happened have benefited, for example, white women have been huge beneficiaries of affirmative action. In the same way, white, lesbian, and gay people have become, even Trump will not go out of his way necessarily to antagonize them. Though he had anti-transgender policy when it came to the military. But in general, Trump will say, look, I have such so many gay friends, I come from the entertainment world. And I think he was raising this important thing, like, look, as African Americans, who are the reason this whole civil rights thing even happens in the US, we are left behind while white gays and lesbian, white women all are enjoying the benefits, which is an important point. The problem was the way he made it. The black trans people, the black LGBT people themselves got cancelled out of the conversation because he pitted the LGBT
two of your identities against each other. Right.
And if you're black and LGBT, then you don't fit in any of the, he just not figured it. They just got erased from that conversation. That I think so it kind of defeated a much more nuanced and important point that he was trying to make, I think.
Right. So let's discuss. We have so much of. Did you purposely select the Christmas, the gay Christmas Santa and the Chandigarh Karyashi because Sandeep was coming? Or is it by chance?
Chandigarh he chose.
Okay, so now
because I didn't realize, na?
So first, let's talk about Chandigarh Karyashi. There is a new film coming out starring what's his name?
Ayushmann
Khurrana,
patron saint of all sexual issues.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Vani Kapoor.
So I watched it, and one of our colleagues in office, he's 20 something, and he says it is so problematic. I don't know which word he used. So I was like, did I watch the same? What was problematic? Because I didn't find anything problematic about it. In fact, I thought it was very progressive. So I said, explain to me. He says, because they haven't used a trans character to play the trans character. They've used a woman.
Now this is another thing.
I was okay. I don't know what I feel about that. But the plot clearly from the trailer is, no spoilers, it is a trans, he's a gym instructor or whatever.
You figured she's trans.
Dude, you're really thick, yeah?
You figured, Sandeep, you knew when you saw the trailer.
Yeah, because I listened to the dialogue.
Even I listened.
What did you think was the great secret that he was so aghast about?
What did you think
that she was not a Bengali, that she was actually a Bengali, not Punjabi.
I'm curious, what were you thinking? Like when that whole thing happens, what did you think it was?
First, I thought she's a boy. Like she hasn't had her. So I asked Sandeep this. I said, has she not had
How does
a
Sandeep, has he made the film? I asked Sandeep, don't overdo it. That anything related to anything that Sandeep. What ask Sandeep, has he made the film?
What are your people saying?
I was asking that already. What are your people saying? I'm not understanding. Then he said, no, she's already had the sex change. So I said,
maybe.
You explain
but
that
we
to
don't
me.
know that. We have seen the trailer, not the film. But you didn't even know that there was a gender issue.
I did not get it immediately because she distracts me.
I'm going to watch the film. I really like Ayushmann Khurrana. I thought the trailer was very interesting. Although this girl, I've seen her in another trailer, which was that Hrithik Roshan film. And
So you've kind of
Hrithik
seen the
Roshan.
whole film in the trailer, right?
That's most trailers.
but that's most trailers. The whole film is clear, very, very
She
few.
was in the film I saw with Ranveer Singh where they keep having sex everywhere.
Okay,
And
I
it
haven't
was
seen
very
that film.
scary, that
So
film.
anyway, so I think she's a bit weak in the camera presence department, but yeah, I'll watch it. So what do you think of it, and why did you include it, Sandeep?
I think because it raised exactly the point that your colleague raised. That okay, you're making a film, you're being very progressive, you're pushing this thing around issues and sex, just in the same way as his previous film Shubh Mangal, Zyada Savdhan was doing mainstreaming gay romance out there. Now here, I talked to some trans people and they said, so we get constantly trapped in this issue where they will say, Acha, finally a mainstream trans role has come up, and you are not giving a trans actor the chance to play the role, then people will say, but where is the trans actor who can,
Play
have
this.
mainstream presence? And then they will,
Chicken and egg.
we should replay the conversation you guys just had, where you were struggling to identify who Vani Kapoor was. So in that sense, it's Vani Kapoor. Ayushmann Khurrana is already there as the star. So they could have easily given another star, because I don't think anybody was rushing to the theater because it's a Vani Kapoor film.
Correct.
So it was a missed opportunity to actually showcase a trans actor. And this is a conversation that's not happening here. It's happened before, like Eddie Redmayne when he did Danish Girl.
Yeah.
Afterward, later he said, now I probably wouldn't have taken the role because there are trans actors out there. Same thing, I think it was Halle Berry turned down a role, saying that's there. So until somebody does that role, and as someone I talked to said, it's good, the conversation will happen, hopefully, as a result of this. People will talk about it and all of that. But nobody's going to make this rom-com again very soon. So for people like me, it's a missed opportunity. And there was this, there's this trans actor, Living Smile Vidya from, and she said the only good thing is, like, for once, they have a man playing the trans role, but here the character needs to pass. So they've got a woman to play it. And she said, look, if you can train a man to play a cis-het man to play a trans role, you can take a trans actor and get her to train her to play a trans actor as well. It's like, don't
And
give me
in
that
the
bullshit.
States, there is that actress. Now, that also I might be getting wrong, but she's
RuPaul.
basically, no, Laverne Cox, I think her name is.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was in this thing, Orange is the New Black also, and she's in the new film, which is very promising young woman, and she plays a trans character.
And she's trans.
She's trans, and she keeps getting roles, and someone else got nominated for an Oscar, the first trans actor who got nominated. So there are, obviously, things have progressed in the States a little bit. Over here,
That way.
It hasn't. So here, this could have been a chance to, you already had Ayushman's star power in the film. So people who will go to see the film will go to see for Ayushmann Khurrana. So here you could, if you're going, it's kind of, you're going that far, just go that extra step maybe. And, you have the chance, go all out.
but maybe Vani Kapoor has a massive fan following. How do you know? People are going just to see Vani.
We'll see when the film comes out. We'll ask. We'll do Vani Kapoor's. I thought you were going to say maybe Vani Kapoor is
No,
trans.
I
We
did.
don't know that. How can anyone vouch for that? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
but
that's
I
also a
did
point.
tell Sandeep something which is not, everything is politically incorrect. I said she does look very manly to me. So I felt it was good casting in that sense.
Even without realizing the plot you thought.
Even without realizing the
Yeah,
plot.
I mean, she does have, that jawline and the nose. Yeah, that is, I guess, a certain masculinity. But
I mean, that was the reason that, do you remember a few months ago when that Bhima jewelry ad happened?
How?
Yeah. So that ad got a lot of praise because it was about a trans character, a man who transitions to be a woman, and the family stands by him and gets her married and
discussed.
gets covered in Bhima jewelry,
Yeah.
of course. But they actually had a trans model,
Yeah.
Meera Singhania Rehani, playing that.
oh,
role.
a
So
trans
that-
person played that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
played
Okay.
that. So that was regarded as so that got a lot of attention. So in a way, this could have actually gotten even more attention if someone like Miraj Singhania had been chosen to do it. I mean, just from a PR perspective, this could have actually been, I mean, you're making this film because you're saying like, oh, I'm making a progressive love story. But then you're just pulling back at the end.
Yeah, but you're expecting too much from the Hindi film industry that they will take
now
such a risk.
They all have sensitivity consultants.
Yeah, they have sensitivity consultants now.
Chalo, we should also get one sensitivity consultant for Rajshri Sen who will first teach her, you should let people finish sentences. That'll be step 1 of sensitivity consulting.
But then you all will feel ill, na, if I keep quiet while you all are finishing your sentences. Huh?
Okay, now this ad, which is an ad where Norway is celebrating 50 years of inclusiveness. This is what it sounds like. And spoiler alert, it ends with, it's a very beautiful love story with Santa and his gay lover.
Yeah, but Sandeep will say what happened when I told him we are discussing this ad. I said, you must have seen it, the Kissing Santa one. And then, Sandeep, what did you say?
Someone sent the ad to me, but they sent it to me the Norwegian
one.
It is Norwegian.
No, but he didn't get the one
English
with the
subtitles. There were no subtitles, okay.
There were no subtitles. So I watched it and I tried to watch it like a silent film and tried to make sense of it. And I can say I got 80% of the plot, but not entirely what was going on. It was like, slightly, I thought maybe this is a comment on ageism in the gay community. So he loved it.
You thought there were layers within layers.
I thought there were layers within layers, because I was like, I don't think this person has sent it to me because this is some kind of creepy story about a Santa who comes down your chimney and
then starts kissing you.
Kissing you. So I thought, maybe this is about ageism. Then I was like, oh, is this about loneliness? Because then I kept seeing the person on.
Oh, is it about weight loss? Because why was Santa so thin?
It's a Santa, yes. And then I was like, maybe this is like trying to make that sort of, what does he say, that daddy love affair kind of thing, gay and palatable, that all gay people don't have to look like Abercrombie Fitch models or something like that. So many things I thought, but once I saw the subtitles, it was all much clearer.
So the articles about it, Independent has an article about how this is a welcome thing. Now, I actually have probably the unpopular view on this. I thought it was completely unnecessary, this ad. And I'll tell you why. Because, I mean, I'm not either a Christmas celebrator or Christmas has not been part of my growing up. So for me, Christmas is not just Christians ka festival, but Santa is a bachon ka concept. It's not like, it's not an adult concept, right? So now I was just saying, now suppose that wasn't a guy, it was a woman. Ki bhai, single woman and Santa aake, he's making out with her, would it still be palatable? Bhai, Santa is a bachon ka concept. Sexualizing a bachon ka concept is not something kisi aur cheez. I think it's wonderful for Norway to celebrate 50 years of inclusivity. But for me, there are certain things which have nothing to do with, they're just children's concepts, like whether it is a Tinkle comic, whether it is Santa, whether it is, I don't know, think of something.
Like Noddy shouldn't be making out with big ears. Let's put it that way.
Sandy. It's Noddy shouldn't be making out with anyone, not just big ears. That is about, Noddy should be just driving his car and saying that this is a mushroom, this is this, it's...
That's not gollywog, he should say.
वो बच्चों का डिपार्टमेंट है. तो बच्चों का डिपार्टमेंट में ये इंसर्ट करना मुझे लगता है कि भाई what's there? What's the
So that's the thing which I just told Sandeep. I said I don't want to think of Santa kissing anyone. Like first of all, he's come down. It's also very scary if I was a child, say I saw this and I believe in Santa, that now I'll think that if Santa comes down my chimney and daddy's in the hallway, Santa and daddy might run away with Santa also. And you don't want to sexualize or romanticize in this way. Like there's a love story with Santa. It's a bit over the top, I felt. But
keeping that criticism aside, I think it is beautifully made.
Santa, That has already been sexual. I mean, there's that famous song. What is that?
I
saw
Kiss
Mommy
Santa,
kissing,
yeah.
Mommy kissing Santa
वो तो
Claus.
Hugh Hefner had
Oh,
made his
that-
bunnies into Santas.
Bunny
वो
Santa, that's the- so
मतलब
in a way,
Christmas
it's already been
आप किसी भी porn
sexualized.
site पे जाओ,
So there's
That's
lots of-
Santa.
क्रिसमस में सब
I'm sure
Santa
Christmas
बने
porn
हुए
is huge.
मतलब
Huge
आजकल
Christmas.
लेकिन
This
So
मतलब
is
it's
a
too late to
Christmas kind of
unsexualize
thing,
Santa and
special.
Christmas.
No, but my point is that keeping that aside, I think it is beautifully made. Like just the way they show the love story
no.
that he gets one day every year. That, I mean, that bit is so beautiful. I mean, if it wasn't Santa and the concept of Santa is a child's property, so I don't want to mess with it. If that wasn't my criticism, it is fucking stunningly made. Just that one day a year is what he waits for that romance. That is just a beautiful thought.
And even
And it's
just
made by the postal service.
oh, that you saw in the subtitles I sent you. The English
It
one
is from
had.
the
I missed
postal
it.
service.
Oh,
I mean, I don't think the American postal service would dare put out an ad.
Are
like
you
this, to be
mad?
honest.
They wouldn't.
Actually, isn't this the second time the postal department has put out such an ad?
Norway?
I don't know.
I don't know if it is Norway's. We've reviewed another ad which was made by the postal department of a European country, and it was also pretty kick-ass, and it was about something pretty significant. I forget now.
About being gay.
यार मुझे कल याद नहीं रहता क्या.
That's
But
true
I
also.
remember the postal department had put out an ad, and we were very impressed with it.
Okay,
I
we
don't
will
know which-
check what it is. My internet's not working, so I can't check what it is. But I did think that Santa, I just found it a little like Santa shouldn't be kissing anyone, as I told you, man
that
or
point
woman.
already. You have a new point?
That
You're-
point
Will
is
you
very
keep
strong.
repeating the same point?
It's a good point.
Okay, Sandeep, you.
I'm okay with Santa kissing anybody they choose. I was just confused because I watched it without subtitles. But I think it was, I think once I saw the subtitles and understood the ad, then I was more moved by it than when I had watched it without it because of that point. Because I think it is making that larger point also that gay people, that whole thing was always a gay affair was so hidden away. It was stolen like that one day in Christmas kind of thing, parallel that whole idea that your affair had to be hidden away from other people's eyes. It was stolen time. But though at the end, I wasn't sure because they got the postal service to deliver the gifts, whether Santa is going to stay with them all year or he has all of Christmas Day to
That's
stay with
true.
them. I'm not sure whether he's getting more than one day at the end of it, but
I think itna detail they did not think of.
I did not think of that much detail.
But yeah,
But-
as a piece of communication, it was outstanding, truly.
Yes.
Now we shall talk about a film called The House of Gucci. It's a film about a fashion brand, which was very famous and it still is. And we went and saw it in the cinema, Rajshri. It was pretty long.
Yeah, it was a 2-hour, 40-minute film. And it has a fabulous, it's directed by Ridley Scott. And it has a fabulous star cast. Salma Hayek, Lady Gaga, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, Adam Driver. It's just...
Yeah.
Oh, and Jared Leto plays that Paolo, the fat boy.
Yeah, the
Jared
Al Pacino's
Leto's,
son.
yeah. So this is based on a book which was written, which is also called House of Gucci, and it's about the murder which was committed by basically the ex-wife of the Gucci owner.
Alfredito, whatever his name was, basically the son of the founders of Gucci, his wife, Iklota Beta. So
No, 2 sons they were. They were 2 brothers. Al Pacino is his brother.
No, but that's he's not the one who's killed. Let me clarify it in a simple way, which is efficiently done. Gucci as a brand was started, I don't know whether it was started by their grandfather, but the 2 guys who made it this fashion brand are 2 brothers played by Al Pacino and Jeremy Irons. Both have 1 son each. One son is Adam Driver, the other son is, what's his name?
Jared Leto.
Yeah. And the Adam Driver, that son, he basically, his wife, which is played by Lady Gaga, is not from their kind of status. And she orders a hit on him in connivance with a woman who does those late night, Main Tumhara Bhavishya
A
Banaogi.
medium.
People will not think medium, will think, medium, rare, good, bad. Medium means-
Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant, correct.
And so this is based on a true story, and she carries out a hit. That guy's killed. The other son, which is Al Pacino's son, which is the other Aldo, Gucci's son dies in poverty in real life in London. As of today, Gucci doesn't have any Gucci family person as a shareholder. And it's entirely held by a fund or an investment company. And that's what the story is. It was a dramatic story of this luxury brand where this screwed up family went to shit.
Yeah. So the interesting parts were, so we were talking about why the daughters, so Patricia, her name is Patricia Reggiani, is the woman who married Maurizio Gucci, which is Adam Driver's character. And they have two daughters. They don't show that. They show one daughter over here.
The other?
I don't know if they must. I didn't want to cast another child. So they have two daughters. Now, you were saying how come no one sued the filmmakers or made a statement, right? The daughters. So the daughters have had a falling out with the mother in the last few years.
Because
the mother
she killed their father.
Because she killed their father is a good reason.
How unusual.
Yeah.
But before we move on, we shall say goodbye to our video viewers. There they are, video viewers, goodbye. We will soon be redoing this studio and you'll get the beauty of this whole podcast by video. But soon, we need more subscribers. We need a little more budget. So subscribe, pay to keep news free. Log on to newslaundry.com.
We'll also get soft light. Like
This
this
is too
harsh
harsh.
white light is not doing wonders for my beauty.
Studio light to ऐसी होती है. So, adios amigos. Listen to the rest of the podcast on the podcast platform of your choice, audio only. Yes, Rajshri. The subscription model is something that keeps News Laundry afloat, but we need hundreds of thousands of people to completely transform the news ecosystem. So you pay for news, so it serves you. So click on the link with this video, subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free और गर्व से कहो मेरे खर्च पर आज़ाद है खबरें.